In Book 65, Nancy investigated the death of famous singer Elvis Presley. In this book, she investigates the death of famous author Agatha Christie. I liked both books. It's a great premise that works well. Are there any other famous deaths that Nancy can investigate? Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review. Dorothea Burden was the world's most famous mystery novelist. She spent her fortune building the ultimate mystery mansion. It's filled with valuable artifacts, hidden passageways, and every room is themed after a famous mystery novel. It sounds awesome. Dorothea died last year. The mansion has been converted into a museum. Nancy and George are invited to attend the grand opening. All of Dorothea's co-workers seem like characters taken from Agatha Christie novels. Patrick Burden is her gorgeous, flirty nephew. Maxine Traitler is her elderly editor who knows everything. Kate Jefferson is her take-charge secretary. Colonel Bill Denton is her greedy agent who only came here so he could demand more money. Nancy and George get unpacked in the Sherlock Holmes room. George accidentally finds a hidden panel in the closet leading to a secret hiding place. It's perfect for hiding from murderers, or if you're someone who needs extra closet space. The women go downstairs. I was a little unhappy to learn there are more suspects in this book. I thought we were all done with suspects. Professor Coining is an expert on crime fiction. Vanessa Van Ness is a rival author. Erica Olson is a publisher. And Julian Romarin runs a company that stages fake mysteries for entertainment. It's revealed Dorothea wrote a new book shortly before she died. All the suspects turn on each other in the hopes of getting the unpublished manuscript. During the fight, Erica says Dorothea was gonna fire Bill. Maxine is the one who ends up with the manuscript. At dinner, they find a dead body! It's one of Julian's murder mystery games. They have 5 minutes to solve the crime. The solution is that the dead butler is actually a burglar in disguise. He was killed by the real butler. This was kind of a fun scene. I wish there was another mini mystery in this book. After dinner is the installation of Dorothea's valuable golden figurines. They've been stolen from the safe! It's a real crime this time. The safe was robbed sometime between noon and 1:30. The back cover of the book spoils the twist that Maxine is strangled to death the next morning. Erica is the prime suspect because her scarf was found under the corpse and her footprint was found in the room's secret passage. When Nancy presses Erica, she confesses she did break into Maxine's room that morning, but not to kill her, to steal the manuscript. Erica says the manuscript is in her room, but it's not. Either she's lying, or it was stolen a second time. Nancy and George get alibis from everyone, and they learn Julian is a former thief. He went to jail for safe cracking. Kate ardently defends Julian because she's in love with him. Julian looks guilty when he sneaks around the secret tunnels. Nancy follows him, but she gets lost in the dark and she's chased away by evil laughter. There's a costume party with a lot of college kids and dancing, because of course college kids won't let murder get in the way of a party. Professor Coining is caught red-handed opening the safe. He says it was easy to find the combination. It's taped to a nearby desk drawer. He claims he's not the thief. He was just checking the safe to see if the manuscript was inside. Ned calls Nancy. That makes her realize the house has cordless phones. This ruins Bill's alibi. Bill said he was on the phone in his room, but in reality, he used a cordless phone. That allowed him to sneak out of the room and rob the safe while still on a phone call. Bill covered his tracks by claiming all the background noise on the call was construction work. Bill made 3 dumb mistakes. Number 1, he did the construction work trick while all the workers were on break. Number 2, he copied the hiding place from Dorothea's first book. Literally everyone here has read that book. Number 3, he kept the stolen figurines in his distinctive shoebox, which everyone instantly recognizes. While Bill is the thief, he's not the killer. Nancy finds the first page of the manuscript. It has a note from Dorothea that leads her to the realization Patrick's the culprit. Patrick killed Dorothea's husband years ago. Dorothea planned to expose Patrick in her book, which is why he was so desperate to steal and destroy the manuscript. Patrick knocks Nancy unconscious. She wakes up in a locked cage with George. Patrick discusses his various crimes, then throws a switch on the far side of the room. The walls of the cage start slowly closing in on them. Nancy and George will be crushed to death. Nancy tries stopping the wall, which doesn't work. She tries lassoing the switch with some headphones, but that doesn't work. Finally, she grabs a chair and throws it across the room. That works perfectly. I find it funny that's the solution. That's pretty hilarious. Nancy and George escape. They are not very patient, so they rush directly to the weapons room to capture Patrick themselves, instead of waiting 30 seconds for the police to arrive. The end. Post-book follow-up. I love how ambitious this book's title is. At one point, Professor Coining chuckles, "This is like a classic mystery where all the characters are killed off one by one." That could have made for a great story. I suppose 8 suspects for 4 crimes is okay, but 8 characters for a triple murder would have worked too. I'm not an Agatha Christie fan, but I did find the premise and the setting of this book to be highly enjoyable. It's a mystery about mysteries. The target audience is almost sure to love it. It had decent twists, like the manuscript was stolen by somebody who had no interest in reading it. And there were little puzzles, like a tape is disguised with a misleading label. Right after the theft, Nancy and George overhear a person being threatened. They misunderstand what the threat means until the end of the book. That was the only subplot I did not care for. I would have replaced it with a subplot about Vanessa, who had no storylines of her own. Poor Vanessa. I like the death trap at the end, but it seems to be extremely unpopular with other readers. They thought it was ridiculous and ruined the ending of the book. I agree, it is pretty unrealistic that there just happens to be a complex death trap nearby for the culprit to take advantage of. We're told it's based on a scene from one of Dorothea's books, but it's hard to imagine a bunch of construction people were not the least bit suspicious when they were told to build a murder cage in a secret passage. Overall, I love the book. It's got a good setting, a good story, and it's heavily focused on the mystery, unlike the last 4 books, which were focused on love drama. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's a big fan of Agatha Christie and Nancy Drew. I give Nancy Drew Files number 76, The Perfect Plot, a 9 out of 10.